So, you're thinking about a career in finance. Or maybe you're just curious about what makes our economy tech. Well, you've come to the right place because we're about to talk about the official starting line for that journey, the Securities Industry Essentials exam. Now, I know a quote like this can sound a little academic, but it's the absolute truth. Think of financial markets as the engine room of the whole global economy. They're what connect people's savings and investments with the businesses and ideas that, actually shape our world. They're not just some small part of the economy. They're basically its central nervous system. Okay, so it's a giant engine room. But what does that actually mean for us in the real world? Well, it's not some abstract concept. It all boils down to a few critical functions that affect everything from huge corporations to entire countries and, yeah, your own financial future. What's so amazing is how it's all connected. You've got businesses raising the money they need to grow and create jobs. You have governments funding massive public projects. We're talking highways, schools, hospitals. And then for you and me, it's the main way we can grow our wealth, plan for retirement, or save for college. It's this huge cyclical flow of money that's designed to fuel progress at every single level. But here's the thing. A system this powerful, this complex, it can't just run on autopilot. The entire thing is built on a foundation that's incredibly strong, but at the same time, surprisingly fragile. And that foundation, it's trust. Right. So it all boils down to this. For anyone, and I mean anyone, to be willing to put their hard-earned money into the system, they have to believe it's fair. They need to trust that the information they're getting is honest, that everyone is playing by the same rules, and that there's real accountability. Without those things, the whole engine just seizes up. And that is probably the single most important question in all of finance. Because when those rules get bent, when that core trust shatters, the consequences, they aren't just numbers on a screen. They're very, very real. And I'm talking severe on a global scale. We actually have a pretty powerful reminder of this from not too long ago. Yep, 2008. The financial crisis is the ultimate case study in what happens when trust just completely evaporates. The lesson from that whole mess was crystal clear. Ethical standards, professional obligations, these aren't just nice-to-haves. They are the absolute bedrock of the entire system. And that is exactly why your career in this industry has to start by mastering them. So, how do you become one of the good guys? A trusted professional in this world? Well, your official entry point, the first key you absolutely need to turn, is the Securities Industry Essentials exam. Let's dig into what that really is. Think of the SIE exam as your license to learn. It's the universal starting point for pretty much any professional job in the securities industry. It makes sure that every single person entering the field has a rock-solid grasp of the fundamental concepts, the rules, and the ethics from day one. And the path is structured this way for really good reason. First, you pass the SIE. That alone makes you way more attractive to employers. Second, you get hired by a firm. And then third, that firm will sponsor you for the more specialized exams. You've probably heard of the Series 7 that are tailored to your specific role. But you see, it all starts with that critical first step, the SIE. So what are you actually going to learn? Look, this isn't about just memorizing a bunch of random facts for a test. It's about building a powerful professional toolkit, one you'll be using for your entire career. I mean, just look at the scope here. You'll learn the big picture stuff, like how markets are built and regulated. You'll go deep on the products themselves, from stocks, which is ownership, to bonds, which is basically a loan. You'll get into more complex things like options and futures, and even the new stuff like digital assets. And you'll cover the nuts and bolts of how trading actually works, and, most importantly, the compliance and ethics that hold the whole industry together. It really is a comprehensive toolkit. And that's the real goal here. The knowledge isn't just to pass a test. It's about developing your professional judgment. It's about understanding why the rules exist, so you can protect investors and treat the markets with the seriousness they demand. So, to wrap this up, I don't want to leave you with a bunch of answers. Instead, I want to leave you with the questions, the real-world puzzles you'll soon be able to solve. This is one of the most important ideas in all of investing. You know the old, don't put all your eggs in one basket saying? You'll learn what that actually looks like in a real portfolio. Then there's this really powerful strategy for investing steadily over time. It can help take the emotion out of it and smooth out those wild market swings. It's a key tool for anyone investing for the long term. And building on that, how do you actually create a disciplined plan and, more importantly, stick to it? What are the mechanics and the mindsets you need to succeed over the long haul? And finally, we get to maybe the most important question of all. How do you figure out the right strategy for a unique person? Because it is never a one-size-fits-all solution. Someone's age, their goals, their comfort with risk, it all creates a unique financial fingerprint. Mastering this, well, that's the heart of being a true professional. And passing the SIE is your very first step to unlocking all these answers.